of the military, the vote that I got from the military, and they're vicious people, that we have to fight, just like you have to fight vicious people. Mine are different, a different kind of vicious, but they spread all these horrible, they made up statements and said what I said about everything, but even about the military. But fortunately, the military didn't believe it. It's hard. They make up a statement and they said, you say it. We had 25 people that said he never said that. 25. We had 25 affidavits. And they said, well, we're going with it anyway. These sleazebags. And that's why the press is really losing all power, because people aren't believing it. We need an honest press. We need borders. We need borders. We need an honest press. We need fair elections. Those three things. And we don't have an honest press. We have a really corrupt press. But we fight through the corrupt press. And the people understand you have to do this stuff a lot. You have to go on television a lot, because you can't get a fair shake if you're going to rely on somebody else. They don't understand. They've destroyed the image of media. Now is at the lowest point it's ever been. It's lower than Congress. Can you believe that? It's something. But together with many of you in the room, we've brought back the fundamental principle that defending the homeland is the military's first and most important priority. That's what it is. Only in recent decades did politicians somehow come to believe that our job is to police the far reaches of Kenya and Somalia, while America is under invasion from within. We're under invasion from within. No different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways, because they don't wear uniforms. At least when they're wearing a uniform, you can take them out. These people don't have uniforms. But we are under invasion from within. We're stopping it very quickly. After spending trillions of dollars defending the borders of foreign countries, with your help, we're defending the borders of our country from now on. We're not going to let this happen. Biden let people come in from prisons, mental institutions, drug dealers, murderers. We had 11,488 murderers allowed into our country by this guy who had no clue. He had no clue. He shouldn't have been there in the first place, but he had no clue. The people that ran the office, the White House, were people that surrounded him, radical left lunatics that are brilliant people, but are dumb as hell when it came to policy and common sense. And they allowed people from all over the world, from the Congo. They opened up prisons in the Congo. They came into our country totally unmatched, unvetted, unchecked, and from all over South America, not just South America. You think South America, no, but from all over. A lot came in from Venezuela. Venezuela emptied its prison population into our country. That's why they have Tren de Aragua, one of the worst gangs ever. But we took care of them. We took good, strong care of them. And I just want to thank the National Guard in Washington, D.C. It's embarrassing to say this. Now I can say it because we solved it. But Washington, D.C. was the most unsafe, most dangerous city in the United States of America. And to a large extent, beyond. And beyond that, you go to Afghanistan, they didn't have anything like that. You go to countries that you would think there's problems, they didn't have that. And now Washington, D.C., after 12 days of serious intensity, we took out 1,700 career criminals. If you have 5 career criminals, they can make your numbers look very bad, because they'll commit many crimes a day. But we took out 1,700, and they took them out. There was no doubt who the boss was. They did an unbelievable job. Then they started even cleaning. I said, I don't want them doing that, sir. They were cleaning it up. I drove through it 2 days ago. It was beautiful. People are walking down the street holding hands, man and wife, coming.
Notice how the way he mentions fair press. It's because they be shadow banning and manipulating the media all the time. That's why I be having these radicalized people always in my comments, even though I'm shadow banned. But as y'all can see, it's slowly changing because they changed the algorithms to how it should be anyway. So people have free choice to think what they want to think, because it was so manipulated. People don't realize they had no choice. They only know what they see because they don't do no research beyond what they hear. And that leads them to act off their emotions every single time. No logic or facts. And he clearly said that we are under invasion from within. And repeated everything I've been telling y'all for the longest. That people from other countries or other nations is literally running governments here in America and bringing their people over while funding them our funds. You know what I'm saying? And oppressing us. Not only that, they're taking our money to fund wars, even in their own countries, to make people want to leave and come here. Then they end up taking over all the businesses, then eventually the financial system with the banks. He mentioned DC being the most dangerous city in America because it's literally their hub, where all the corrupt elites be doing all day legal shit. Because remember, DC is technically where all their citizens are supposed to be at. So they can import anything they want and feel okay that they can live there because technically it's their land. But like I said, that's what a lot of elites was, because we know that's where like I say, the quote unquote capital is. So of course, then people gonna be living close by, bring their people in and anything they need. Because like I said, they are the ones that were supporting all the crime.
Bravely helped us secure the nation's capital and make America safe for the American people. It's amazing. The whole world is watching. Everybody in the White House, they come up to me, young women, sir, thank you. I know immediately what they're thanking. They don't have to say it. They walk to work now to the White House. We haven't had a crime in Washington in so long because we got the careers. We call them the careers. We got these lunatics out, and they'll never be any good. You know, I hate to tell this to the liberal media. You could spend time with them. You could do whatever you want. You could send them to the finest schools, which they couldn't get into anyway. Mentally, they couldn't get in. But no matter what you do, they'll never be good. They're bad. They're career criminals. I don't know. Maybe they were born that way. Some people don't like me to say that, but maybe they were. Certainly some were. Together with the leaders here today, we're also restoring a needed focus on defeating threats in the Western Hemisphere throughout this region. Cartel terrorists have been allowed to wage a relentless campaign of death and destruction on our country, all because we had weak leadership on top. And we did a great job with it first term, but this is something else what we're doing now. We're taking it to the next level, probably next level times 3. But we had COVID come up and we had to take care of that. We did a great job with COVID. We had the therapeutics. It was just Regeneron, so many things we did for COVID, but we had to focus on that, and every other country in the world was being decimated by COVID. So we had to change gear a little bit to take care of that. But under our leadership, the military is now the knife's edge in combating this sinister enemy. We have to put the traffickers and cartels on notice, and we've done that. And we put them, a lot of them, we've called them a terrorist organization, which is actually a big thing to do. Nobody's done it, but
He mentioned the career criminals is born that way. Because like I always say, there's people that is born of negative polarity. Meaning in order to feel good, they have to do something bad. They react off emotion, not logic. And he basically mentioned how the way their kids is getting into the best schools. And obviously that also means the best jobs. Without any real work. As I always say, everything was DEI based or feelings based on hiring and acceptance. Meaning the kids that can make it on merit never had a chance to make it into those schools or jobs. Therefore, robbing them of experiences, opportunities, and salaries. And you mentioned how the way it had changed gears because of this pandemic. He had to prevent them from taking everybody out. And most of us still don't even know it.